Hi everyone, it's Tracy here from Art Fiber Stitch. I was making these the other day. I use them in my kits. I punch a hole out and I'm left with all of these holes and I think, what am I going to do? But that's one thing that's gotten me started on a project. Another, well, I had a day that I was with my grandchildren and we were making these lovely gel plate prints. Look at that, that's their handprint. Cute. But you should have seen how much, the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old enjoyed playing this. We would just collect leaves or bits and pieces, and we just kept trying different things. And that one there, you can see in the negative space, I put the leaf underneath, and I was doing a crayon rub-on kind of technique to pick out the veins. So even the ones that had problems are all useful. They can all be used. So this gave me more ideas. I like that one. Even the ones where I was cleaning the roller afterwards. That's a negative of that. Quite often when you're gel printing, you get, both the negative and the positive of the print. There's so many lovely things here that I can use. Look at that. So that's the end. So now I'm left with thinking. I'm going to take one of them, and that's my inspiration. I'm going to use those cutout circles. I've grabbed 3 colors here, a yellow and a orange and a red, and I'm going to use my gel plate and my brayer, and I'm going to have a go with the dots. Normally I do things that are more organic, more natural, but I like this, I think. So I like all kinds of styles. Here I'm adding a little bit of the red, a little bit of the orange, and then a little bit of the yellow on the end. A bit more maybe. And then I'll try and mix them a little bit so that it's just a little bit more interesting than one colour. I'll do that with the brayer. So dot, dot, dot of colour. There we go. We're ready. And, well, it helps to lift it at this stage. Yeah, every time I lift it, it's a bit better to mix these colours. Otherwise, I just get dob, 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 dob. Okay. Well, we're getting there. I like it. We've got a lighter colour one side. I like that. Right. But when it's coated to my desire there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these little cardboard cutout circles. I'm just going to sprinkle them on here and see what happens. Experiment with your things you've got. But isn't it amazing how one thing leads to another? Another idea branches off from that, and you end up with several projects. So this is the bit that my grandsons really liked. The rubbing the paper on to see what you would get and then peeling it off. Whoa, that's exciting. It's like Christmas. Excellent. So there we go. We have all of those negative spaces of plain paper where those dots were. I'm going to try this again. I have no idea whether this will work, or I'm just going to put a few dots of a different colour there. I'm going to see if it'll work with just leaving those dots there where they were. Who knows? Doesn't matter. It's all play. Whoa. Yes, like I say, I've got to lift that. I've got to lift that or I just end up with dobs. Anyway, I quite like the dobs as well. Yes, if I do this too much, I'm just going to remove what paint I've got. So let's just get on with it. Here we go, another piece of paper. I'm just using copy paper from the printer. Smooth it down so it all gets contact with that gel plate and it'll pick up that fine film of print. Alright, so there we go. We got another one. It's a mixture, isn't it? Well, yeah. Can be used. Alright, so I've got these dots. Oh, this is good. I'm just going to use up the last of my brayer. I've got all this green on it, may as well. All of the paint that was left on the brayer, sorry. And now I'm going to take off these dots and see what happens. Ooh, look at that. So I've got some some orange ones from the first time I did it, and then when I turn them over I've got some green. So I've coloured my dots at the same time as I'm making these interesting backgrounds. That's useful. Now let's try something else over here just to use up that last little bit. I'm probably not doing this right. I think you've got to do it all in one direction, but I'm all about just playing. Oh, see, it's going to start coming off. Don't want that. Right. Here we go. What am I going to do this time? I'll just see what that gives me. Whether it picks up any of those little circular marks that were there to start with, I don't know. But I guarantee I'll use it no matter what it looks like. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Right, and all the paint's off that. I think I'll take that away and give that a good clean now. So, they've dried a little bit. Oh, they've dried. And I'm just having a look here at what I've got. Now, as I'm just making this up as I go, I do want to use these papers. I will use these papers. What am I doing? I am not sure. I mean, some of them are quite dull. That one's very red. Some of them are a bit scrappy. You know, it's got me thinking. See how the coloured dots on them? That actually brings an element, doesn't it? The dots that I would originally put there that are now painted red on one side and green on the other. Yeah, they look quite good. So that's a possibility. But what else? Now, I could go and collect other things and just use these papers as I will, but I do want to make something. I want to show how we, you know, don't waste any of it. Let's just use it and see. See, so I'm trying these dots. All right, we've got them. They look nice. It's missing quite a lot of other stuff. Yeah, but can you see the placements of the dots? 2 on one side, 1 on the other. That looked good. Spreading them out, just learning how to design on the fly here. Right, let's start piecing some of it together. I've decided to just use an ordinary glue stick to start with, just to sort of get it down and tack it down, so to speak. Now, I've got some great papers here, but there's one I don't like so much. It's this one. But it doesn't mean I can't use it. It would make a great contrast. So what I'm trying to do is just rip it. Now, you'll notice if I rip it one way or if I rip it the other, I'll end up... Now, can you see the white edge is left on that piece behind? So this one won't have a white edge, but that's what happens. If you rip it one way, you get the white edge of paper. If you rip the other, you don't. So the idea is whether you rip or cut or even if you used a punch to punch out something, I'm just wanting the contrast. I don't particularly like all of that design that we had there. You know, some I like as backgrounds, some I like as the bits I'm going to put on. And that's what I'm looking at, what I can use. For a start, let's think about our curvy theme here. We've got all these circles. I'm going to use my scissors and I'm just going to cut out something that's sort of curvy around these dots that we've got. I don't know, it's an idea and it's leading me somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, so just make that as curvy as I can there. That looks sort of like a natural shape. It's sort of like a hill, isn't it? What can I do with it? The main thing is I liked that it was a contrast, you see. So I'll start by adding it to different pieces. Yes, the green and the red. Traditional Christmassy kind of colours, but they do look good together, don't they? So I'll probably put it on this piece. I don't think that's doing much for me. Turn it upside down, try it sideways, whatever. I quite like that. So that's a good start for me. I'm getting my my glue stick and I'm just going to put a bit on the back of that and make a decision that that's where I want that. Excellent. And we'll go from there. Put it back on and press down slightly to to get it there and keep it there. So take the time to think about what you like. With what kind of color would you like to bring in? I'd like to bring in a little bit more of that contrast in, I think. So I'll get some of that green. This time I'm cutting out. See, I'm using the paper and keeping the scissors pretty still. I'm just making a serrated kind of edge on there, and I'm going to call that a tree or a flower. I don't know yet. But it's sort of breaking up the circular theme, but still sticking with it. You know what I mean? It looks, yeah, it's sort of a circle, but it's a little bit rougher. So this is fun and a great thing to do with your kids because they can handle a glue stick. They can handle their little scissors. And they might have ideas of their own what they would like to do. It's great to do things with children, and they can make cards and paper and things for gifts or presents. I've had so many lovely presents from my grandchildren. So I'll just keep playing here, and then I might go on and I might do those other two backgrounds as well, because I like the idea. See how I'm looking here at one up, one down? Maybe that's better. Placement's very important to get the look that you want. But I'll stop here for now, and we'll do all of that in the next part. And I hope you're seeing the vision as I'm seeing it, what we could do. I thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I now have a donation page for those that wish to help me on my way. Thank you.